Around round 3, Mike seemed to be running out of gas a little bit. You were working the jab really well. At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson generated significant hype, with fans eagerly hoping for a thrilling clash between the YouTube sensation and the legendary boxer. However, the match quickly became the subject of widespread criticism, with many boxing experts and fans describing it as more of a scripted spectacle than a legitimate competition. What was expected to be an entertaining showdown ended up falling flat, leaving viewers disappointed and fueling suspicions that the event was orchestrated for business purposes rather than sporting integrity.
I think Jake, to a degree, was in a lose-lose situation. He knocks him out in the first. Everyone says, this is murder, this is awful, this is disgusting. He knocks him out in the middle, same thing. He even knocks him out in the end, they'll say that. He goes the distance, they'll say, oh, he's, or oh, he carried him, and more on that in a moment. The only result that I think people truly would have been happy with is a Mike Tyson knockout of Jake Paul. I think Jake carried him. I think Jake didn't want to knock him out. I'm not sure if he could have, but he definitely took his foot off the gas last couple rounds, for sure.
58 years old, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's win there. You know what I'm saying? But then record Jake Paul too. Big shout to Jake Paul, man, but just going in there and displaying skills. He didn't display no YouTuber skills tonight. He displayed boxing, great ability. I take my hat off to him.
Are you proud of Mike Tyson tonight, 58 years of age?
Always proud of Mike. Mike is my hero. I love him regardless. Listen, he did great.
While fans initially had modest expectations for the bout, it quickly became apparent that the event failed to live up to its promotional hype. What was marketed as an exciting contest between a global celebrity and a boxing icon instead turned into a lackluster affair, drawing accusations that it was more about business interests than delivering an authentic sports experience.
What did you think about it? Were you happy with Mike's performance?
Listen, I love Mike Tyson. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Him getting inside the ring and everything just brought me so much joy to be able to see with my own eyes. I mean, yeah, of course you want to see Mike Tyson knock somebody out, but he's 58, man, and I'm just happy I got to witness it tonight, and he's the baddest man on the planet to me, still. Okay, still baddest man on the planet.
Do you think Jake took it a little easy on him?
No, I think Jake was trying to set him up for the okie doke. He was trying to play. Yeah, he was going down here, and then come on, talk to me.
For those who had long supported Tyson, watching their hero in such a diminished state was especially heartbreaking. The fight, which was supposed to highlight Tyson's legendary spirit, instead served as a painful reminder of the ravages of time and the inevitable decline of even the greatest champions.
Y'all don't be disappointed, man. Mike got in tip-top shape. His best shape he could get into for a 58-year-old man. And he went in there and rumbled with a 27-year-old man.
What do you want?
The legs wasn't, excuse the language, y'all. The language wasn't, I mean, not the language, but the legs wasn't, all the way there. The legs wasn't all the way there. Reflexes ain't all the way there. But that's to be expected, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, man, respect Mike for getting in tip-top shape. Respect both of them for putting on this kind of event, man, because the event was live, bro. I didn't think they was going to fill it up. They filled it up. It was probably maybe a few little seats at the top in the nosebleeds that wasn't full, but, man, they did that. They did that. You got to respect that, man. Y'all have a good night. I got to say my name.
Reports later emerged that Tyson had been hospitalized just the day before the fight due to health concerns. Despite not being in optimal physical condition, the fight proceeded, likely in an attempt to avoid the backlash of yet another postponement. This decision sparked a debate about the ethics of allowing such a fight to take place under these circumstances.
I don't know, man. I mean, I just think it was good. I mean, I think it was entertaining up to a point, and it was okay. The people seem to, kind of be enjoyed, especially the anticipation of him coming in the ring was amazing.
Evander Holyfield, I talked to him yesterday. He said he'd be willing to get in there with Mike Tyson.
I bet he will.
Yeah, I remember I asked you, after seeing this, would you still want to see it?
I'm good.
As the fight progressed, suspicions about its authenticity only deepened. Following the match, Jake Paul addressed the criticism, stating that he gave his best effort while Tyson appeared to be simply trying to survive in the ring. Paul acknowledged the contrast in their performances, with Tyson seemingly unable to match the younger man's energy and aggression. While Paul credited Tyson for his resilience, many critics felt that the fight was a one-sided affair, with an aging Tyson outmatched by Paul's youthful energy and strength.
Did you feel Mike's power at all?
No.
He hit you with one. You give him the tongue.
I only because the crowd like got turned up, but it didn't actually hurt. But I mean, no one's punches have like really hurt. I got buzzed a little bit against Tommy Fury, but that's about it.
Tommy Willie. The Tommy Willie shot. Did it hurt you?
It didn't hurt. No, I was just off balance when Woodley hit me, but because I was throwing a check hook and I missed, and then my chin was open, and then he hit me and I went boom. But it didn't hurt.
However, the fighters seem to be on civil terms, with Paul even complimenting him out of the ring, even though the pair have since been suspended due to the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations rules. Paul admitted that he purposefully chose not to knock out Tyson.
Thoughts, because it seems surreal that you got in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I was just so prepared. I've gone through the moment so many times in my head and meditation and stuff like that, so it didn't faze me, and I just felt at home just because I'm on the path of riding my destiny, and when you're really close to God and on the path of your destiny, you just feel everything so much more, and you just know what's going to happen ahead of time.
Around round 3, Mike seemed to be running out of gas a little bit. You were working the jab really well. At any point, did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you noticed he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
The problem child also trashed Gervonta Davis and Conor McGregor during the post-fight conference.
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down. Let's run it. Like, I'd be super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
What about you and Conor McGregor? Are you interested in that?
Yeah, he'll never do that though. He knows way.
One, he's under contract.
Tyson's coach, Rafael Cordero, reflected on the preparation leading up to the match, explaining that both he and Tyson were confident they could secure a victory. They had trained for 7 months for the fight, and Cordero firmly believed they had a good chance of winning before stepping into the ring. Despite the outcome, he emphasized that Tyson never showed any signs of wanting to quit, demonstrating his resilience throughout the contest. Cordero also noted that Tyson, despite the loss, remained a hero in the eyes of many, having inspired countless people both inside and outside the boxing world. Ultimately, the most important aspect, according to Cordero, was that Tyson would return safely to his loved ones.
I think we can all agree, especially the purest boxing fans, that Mike Tyson is the reason that this event is as big as it is. 21 years old, he made history in boxing. 58 years old, he's made history in boxing. And throughout his entire life, he's been the focal point and the living legend here of boxing. I mean, that doesn't take away anything from what Jake Paul has brought, but you need a dance partner, and there isn't one as big as Mike Tyson. We're very proud of, I think I can, on behalf of head coach Billy White, Coach Rafael, that we're very proud of Mike's his determination throughout camp.
Yeah, don't lose the fact that he inspired the world and knocked out Netflix tonight. They went down because there was so many viewers. How great is that? That's a record he set tonight. He's like you just said, he set the bar high, and he's one of the greatest athletes in the history of the world. There's young athletes, boxers, they don't train anywhere near.
Many analysts and experts began to speculate that the match had been carefully scripted for entertainment purposes, with Jake Paul's victory further raising doubts about the legitimacy of the bout.
Did Mike Tyson not really try? Did he get in there and follow a script? Well, don't actually hit Jake Paul on the chin with a big shot, because you might just knock him out and ruin the whole fucking script and ruin the whole Jake Paul story, the big con that is Jake Paul. So maybe that happened, maybe it didn't, but Jake Paul didn't really get anything going. He was almost fighting scared. He came into the ring walk.
What up, y'all? Hey, we saw what happened tonight. Mike came out, gave it all he had. His legs, you can tell, weren't with him tonight, so it was a little bit difficult. But thank God Jake didn't knock him out because I would have felt bad for Jake because Andre Ward was definitely going to go after Jake if he did knock Tyson out. So thank God he didn't. Thank God everybody ended up healthy, happy. Now I ain't got to worry about Andre coming out of retirement no time soon. So we all good.
UFC fighter Colby Covington offered a more measured take on the situation, acknowledging that the fight had a relatively safe conclusion. He noted that it was clear Tyson was far from his prime and expressed relief that no serious harm came to the boxing icon during the event.
Yo, Colby, what'd you think, man?
What did I think?
Yeah.
You know, I love seeing Mike out there doing what he loves to do. It's his passion. But I don't know. I think Jake looked a little soft tonight. He don't look like a real boxer, a pro boxer that's been training the last 10 years. So, you know, he needs to come see me one day. A guy that's in his prime that's going to walk him down and have that cardio. So.
Evander Holyfield also weighed in on the spectacle, commenting that something about Tyson's performance felt off. His remarks further fueled the belief that Tyson wasn't at his best, adding to the suspicion that external factors may have influenced the match's outcome.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one.
No.
Yeah. Overall, how'd you just see how Jake fought, how Mike fought?
Well, you know, you can tell something was wrong with the Tyson leg.
Yeah, the knee.
So he couldn't. His balance was off.
Oh, that's crazy. You noticed that. I just talked to his trainer and he told me that exact thing.
Yeah.
His balance was off.
His balance was off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. You know, overall, like, how do you see Jake growing from this, and who do you want to see him fight against now?
Well, you know, I'm like, he's a pretty good fighter.
Steven Espinoza, a key figure in boxing promotions, called the event rough to watch. Like many others, he expressed his disappointment not only with the quality of the fight, but also with the surrounding circumstances, which seemed to prioritize business interests over the integrity of the sport.
I think we're all hoping to see a little flash of the old Mike, and we saw like someone who, you know, I wish I'd seen the old Mike. You know, not to take anything from Jake, but you know, Mike looks his age, and you know he should. Look, I take that back. He did a lot better than a lot of 58-year-olds would have done. But you know,
Is Jake good for the sport?
I think it is. About 70,000 people out. He and Mike. So, like, I think it certainly brought people out.
Prominent figures in the boxing world, such as Eddie Hearn, admitted that they could barely stomach watching the first round of the fight.
Eddie, what did you
make of it? I didn't really watch it. I was in Katie's change room. She was getting stitched up. I watched the first 30 seconds, which were quite entertaining, and then after it was just horrible to watch. And that's, I just, like, did you enjoy watching most of that fight? The back, like, it was hard to watch, but it was always going to be like that. But it doesn't have to be. They're not making this for me. Look how many people turned up. Look how many people tuned in, so I can't knock it.
Carl Froch didn't hold back in his criticism of the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, calling it a massive anticlimax and describing the whole event as crap. Speaking candidly on his YouTube channel, Froch expressed his disappointment with the quality of the fight, suggesting that Tyson at 58 years old seemed to be merely playing a part in what he perceived as a circus-like spectacle.
Listen, it was an anticlimax. It didn't live up to the expectations of what it was built up to be. I mean, it was crap on it, let's be honest. The fight itself was awful. What happened? What happened in the fight? What happened in the ring? There was no substance. It's like when you're cooking a meal all day, you cook up a nice broth, you put your organic steak mince in. You put your potatoes in, your sweet potatoes are a bit better for you. Bit of vegetables, all your stock, and you're slow cooking it all day. And then at the end of the day, when you dip the spoon in and you have a little sample and it tastes like absolute shit, you think to yourself, what a waste of time that was. And that's what this fight was.
Froch speculated that Jake Paul, either out of fear or a desire to avoid hurting Tyson, failed to engage properly in the fight. He doubted Paul's ability to knock out the legendary boxer, stating that Jake Paul simply wasn't good enough. Froch also pointed out that Paul had limited experience in professional boxing, having only fought once before against Tommy Fury, a boxer he lost to. Fury, according to Froch, was only at best a British-level fighter, further diminishing the credibility of Paul's victory.
Jake Paul didn't really get anything going. He was almost fighting scared. He came into the ring walk, into that big stadium, and what was it, a Chevrolet or a Cadillac? It was a big gas-guzzling American car. It looked good, he looked cool, he looked a bit nervous, but he looked cool in his car. His brother was there, Logan Paul, all the glitz and glam, the music, the pyrotechnics, the whole build-up to this show was fantastic. It was enjoyable. But unfortunately, when the both guys, the reason I'm not talking about the fight, because there's nothing to really talk about. The fight was absolutely hopeless. It was terrible.
Despite acknowledging Tyson's age and physical limitations, Froch didn't hold back from criticizing Paul's performance, which he deemed lackluster. He also questioned Paul's narrative that he was reluctant to truly engage with Tyson, implying that Jake Paul was unwilling to stand toe-to-toe with the former champion and lacked the courage to finish the fight.
But every time he did try and close the gap, Jake Paul backed off. Got behind his jab, he threw a couple of shots in there, he did throw a couple of big swings as well at one point, so that's why I have to question. When he said he took his time with Mike Tyson, didn't want to hurt him, didn't want to knock him out, I'm not so sure about that, because he was swinging away at points in that ring, and if some of them shots would have landed, they would have probably hurt Mike Tyson, because he's 58 years old. But anyway, nothing really happened. The fight itself was a massive anticlimax. It was fucking crap. It was a waste of time. I'm glad I didn't stay up late to watch it. All the people that pay good money to be there and watch it, they must be disappointed with that performance. And I'm not taking anything away from Mike Tyson. He's 58 years old. He can only do what he can do. He's got an old body. But Jake Paul put in a shit performance as well. Didn't really try and do much, but it was nice that at the end he paid respect to Mike Tyson. I don't like the way he's trying to say he didn't really try.
Froch went on to joke that he would have no problem defeating Jake Paul himself, dismissing Paul's boxing abilities as virtually non-existent. He sarcastically suggested that he could end Jake Paul with one punch, and even stated that he'd be willing to fight Paul with one arm tied behind his back, emphasizing just how little he thought of Paul's skill set.
All you've got left is somebody like me. He's mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch talking about himself. He's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finances, but I'll take the fucking payday. Of course I will. And I'll end Jake Paul with one punch. I'd go in there one-armed and beat this guy. He can't box. He's absolutely fucking useless, which we saw last night with Mike Tyson.
He also refuted any suggestion that his comments were motivated by a desire for financial gain. Although Froch joked about taking a payday, he assured that his finances were in good shape, but if the opportunity arose, he'd gladly take the fight.
I've not mentioned Canelo Alvarez because it's just laughable. Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez, can you imagine? I mean, if Jake Paul fancies that and he jumps in the ring with him, I will pay homage to him, because fair play, if he jumps in there with Canelo Alvarez, he'll get absolutely fucking destroyed, and it will be fast and it will be messy, and it will be bad for his health as well, potentially.
Terrence Crawford expressed his disappointment on social media, pointing out that Tyson, despite his legendary status, failed to deliver in the fight. He remarked that Tyson's performance was far from impressive, posting, "I love Mike Tyson, but they are giving him too much credit. He looked like trash. To train that long and only throw 97 punches, the whole fight is crazy. I'm just glad he didn't get hurt out there." Tony Bellew didn't mince words in his criticism of the fight, pointing out that the public was partially to blame for the rise of Jake Paul's boxing career. "We are all to blame for this man, Jake Paul. We are all talking and watching. We have to stop this fool. Don't tune into him until he fights someone who is fit, healthy, and not a grandfather." Bellew posted on X. He also directed his ire at those within the boxing industry who supported Paul's rise, calling it sad and urging them to reconsider their involvement. Nicola Adams joined the chorus of critics, acknowledging Tyson's age as a significant factor in his lackluster performance. She noted that while Tyson's physical condition was remarkable for his age, he was simply no longer able to compete at the highest level against younger rising stars. She posted, "I wanted to see Mike Tyson doing what he does, but he is 58 years old, in exceptional shape, but just not good enough to fight these young up-and-comers now." Paulie Malignaggi said that Jake held back during the fight. He posted, "Does Jake feel bad for Mike?" UFC legend Conor McGregor deleted his tweet after Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. The Notorious One wrote, "They are eyeing Pritchard Colin for next opponent." The sight of Tyson struggling left many with a sense of discomfort, highlighting the growing debate over whether such bouts should even be sanctioned. For some, the event tarnished the credibility of boxing as a sport, and the question remains, should fights like these ever take place, or do they do more harm than good for the sport's image? So what is your opinion about this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and check out our other videos for more insights and analysis on the world of boxing.